everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hot Seat with PeeJae Fuego. Make sure you guys are following us, liking us, and subscribing to all of our YouTube channel. That's PeeJae Fuego. You'll see the link tree bio in my handle right there. So make sure that you guys are following everything Hot Seat. And welcome to the Hot Seat once again, where we touch the too hot to talk about topics and fiery topics. And baby, on our guest today in the hot seat. Don't you feel the heat already? Get your napkin and wipe your face, baby. Because in the hot seat today, we have the Natural Empress, everybody. Hey, shout out. Hey, at this point, you
You know what? Let me just say this. It is just so weird for me to be on the other side. I do the interviewing, okay?
Yes, that's why I had to switch it up. I said, hold on, we need a behind the scene. We need to put her in the interviewee.
This
She
is
needs to be
weird.
an interviewer.
I'm actually nervous. Nobody asks me questions. Don't ask me nothing.
And that's why I thought it was gonna be so interesting. I was like, hold on, Empress so used to asking people the questions, but if people have some questions they want to ask her.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk.
Well, first of all, before we get into the nitty-gritty and the meat of everything, how did the Natural Empress come about? I know her as, I don't say your government name, but I know as beep beep.
I know, you could call it.
Oh, I know as the legendary Renee Davis, everybody.
That's right.
And I know a lot of people, I guess Renee Davis is some, the Natural Empress the most. How did the Natural Empress come about?
Ooh, how much time we got?
Oh, we got like a 30, 45 minutes, but you tell me.
Okay, all right, let me round it up for you. A lot of people don't know that prior to radio, my radio stint, I was a touring musician. All right.
Touring musician.
Yes. I was a keyboard player and background vocalist for the likes of, and just to name a few.
And be easy on us, please.
Just to name a few. Let me see now. I started off initially with a group called the Mighty Diamonds, which is before Bob's time.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of Bob, I was a member of the legendary Wailers post Bob. I also toured with the likes of Maxi Priest, Tony Rebel, Buju Banton, Junior Reid, Kimani Marley, Lauryn Hill, Roberta Flack, just to name a few.
And just to name a few. Now, I know, and I think if hopefully I don't show my age with this one, but if you guys have seen the concert video of Lauryn Hill performing oh Lord, Killing Me Softly.
No, you're talking about the actual video for Turn Your Lights Down Low.
Turn Your Lights Down Low.
Video,
yes.
I'm in that
if
video.
You guys can look in the background of that, you see my girl, the Renee Davis.
Exactly.
Is on the scene giving you
a lot of
vocals.
people don't know that side. And as a matter of fact, my touring career came to a halt on 9/11. Wow. 9/11, I was on my way to Australia with Maxi Priest. So we were going from Florida into New York for a connection to Sydney, Australia. Mm-hmm. So 9/11 happened while I was in Miami's airport heading to New York. So in other words, going to New York no more.
Sorry,
right?
Back home.
Scratch that. No, it wasn't a matter of going home. I was in Miami airport and had to make a serious decision as to whether I was going to head back to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. All right. Or seeing as I was close enough to Grand Bahama, my hometown, I decided to go. I thought it was an opportune time for me to go and visit my father, whose wife at the time was dying of cancer. Wow. So I decided that I would go and spend some time in Freeport with my dad and his wife and give him a hand. And sadly enough, she didn't make it. So I decided that, with touring becoming obsolete at that particular moment when the world came to a standstill, that I would try to find something to do. Mm-hmm. All right. The big touring musician, worldwide stages came to an end, and I was introduced to radio by Kendrick Williams, who is known as the big guy.
The man himself.
Yes. So he introduced me to radio, and the rest is history. And hence, that's where my touring ended. I fell in love with radio, and here I am, 17 years later.
I'm talking 17 that you make it look so easy years later. So because not to age myself one more time, everybody, but when we get into conversation, especially with being on the show Free Mind and just having our conversations afterwards, you come from such a wealth of knowledge in terms of how eclectic you are with your music, even in the sense of marketing and how you strategize yourself. And people think of it as just like, oh, we sit down in front of a mic and we just talk and we make it that. But it's like, the fact that you are a household name just off of your voice, people welcome you to their homes just off that same sense of providing that being comfortable for them.
Familiarity.
Yeah, and that familiarity. You're right. You're very much so right. So now, with the transition from music, touring, I'm sure fast-paced life, on the go, we're going to Sydney, Australia. Talk to me now.
Yeah.
So it's like, coming from that and now transitioning to now meeting the Bahamas, how was that? Do you have any? Not I wouldn't call them regrets, but do you have any things that you miss from, I guess, from the fast life? I would say.
Oh, of course, by all means, by all means. Well, the beautiful thing about it, especially, and I examined this within the pandemic, that there are some people who are sad that travel has become so difficult now. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest to say that I'm cool with it. If I don't see another city, I'm good. I've done all continents. I've touched them all, every last one. I counted how many countries. I think I did this about maybe 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And over 200 countries I have under my belt. So if I never see another turf, I'm good.
And I love Empress would casually say, it's like, oh, Great Wall of China.
I haven't been there.
Oh, I haven't been there. Oh, you're talking about the food market down in China? Oh, I've been there.
I've been to the lions and tigers in Africa.
Okay, talk to me nice now.
I've done 7, 8 countries in Africa.
And what's so crazy is that I feel as if that, although those things don't come up in terms of like regular conversation or regular everyday conversation, but I love how you bring it from such a stuffy atmosphere to like, yeah, but they have this rate in Hong Kong. You never been there?
No, but I'll tell you what, why it's not common knowledge for a lot of people as to my life prior to radio is because people tend to think when you speak about your accomplishments, this is Bahamian society that, who she thinks she is.
Yeah.
No. And that's why I do my endeavor best on radio, especially like my Thursday show, to bring to light the Bahamians that are doing things abroad, because it shouldn't just be the world that knows what we do and we don't know. It just doesn't make sense. And I think we have to get out of that mindset of looking at it and viewing at it as showing off. No, it's enlightening. It's inspiring somebody to know that, you know what? Yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah.
Real talk.
And even more, what I love the most, thank you for mentioning your Thursday show. So now Free Your Mind has been a staple in our Bahamian society for I don't know how long.
From 2006.
Yes, and give a little more backside into us, everybody. I actually met Empress when I was interning at 100 Jams.
Can't forget that.
I cannot forget that.
In your little uniform.
I was in my little uniform. I'm talking before I've now glowed to be the Fuego.
Hello, somebody. You were No, you started calling yourself that from then.
That was the first time.
That's right.
And I'll never forget. I would come in at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it'd be just in time for Free Your Mind. And Empress would sit me down. She showed me the board and everything. And then when I got to know the magic of it, and although we can't, it's some secret sauce, but the magic of it, it showed me that people think of it as more of a call-in show and just we're on the air talking a bit, trash talk or whatever. But what I saw was the therapy in it. It was the therapeutic aspect of it. Maybe a funny story, obviously listening in, if you don't relate to it, obviously could come across as a kiki ha-ha. But
tell you what.
But the magic you took it from was more of a, you're going through this, and people may laugh, but how can I really help you?
I'll tell you what, that show, the birth of Free Your Mind, was the birth of talk show.
Yeah.
In the Bahamas.
Tell us, what was your thought process behind?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Any other thing that had evolved at that time, you had to be either politically correct or you needed to have a very vast vocabulary. My idea was for the common man to just be able to get it off your chest. We grow up in a society. We're a society of people that believe that it's okay to internalize everything. We don't have anybody listening to you to even help to problem solve. It's like you either take it to Jesus or you
Right.
just
Yeah.
battle it on your own. And my idea was we each one teach one, because as the Bible states, there's absolutely nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through that, somebody done been through that, somebody's been successful in overcoming that. So bring it to an open forum to help. And believe it or not, a lot of people used to just listen to Free Your Mind on jams to get off. Like you said, it was always something exciting. But what people did not know is how many lives I can honestly say that I've saved off air. That call when the show is over, because it happened so quickly, from 11 o'clock to 11:50 went by like this,
Yeah.
right? But at 11:51, there's that call. I'm about to jump this bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Help me. You're the one that I know can talk to me. Or it could be that person who had the noose around their neck calling me to say, well, listen, this is the situation. I've had one man in my life and now I have AIDS. Went for my first physical and now I have AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ending my life. I was able to talk that one through that. And the stories are numerous. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't realize that Free Your Mind became a staple in the society and in the country for help. Like literally people
No,
needed help.
literally help. Yeah.
Real help. I don't have no money to go to no psychiatrist. I don't even know what that is, because at the end of the day, the stigma that's attached to mental health, which I'm really happy to say, then versus now versus then,
Yeah.
it's so much better. It is absolutely heartwarming to see that we're now gravitating towards and understanding the importance of mental health. So I can honestly say I began the trend.
No, but do you think that when you signed up for Free Your Mind, obviously yes, a radio show, but did you find a radio host? Did you find yourself signing up to be a psychiatrist too, or
Nah.
like even someone's listening ear, anyone's listening ear?
No, it became so bad. And I often remember this story in particular, if I could tell real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There was a story of a young man who called in after the show as well. Just before the show ended. And he gave the story about helping this girl through school and paying her bills, working 3 jobs to
Oh wow.
facilitate that. And he found out that she was cheating. Regular story,
Yeah.
right? But to the way this young man took it, he was ready to end her life,
Oh
right?
wow.
And I'm talking to him and I'm saying, young man, listen, that ain't the way to go. You do that, you end up on the hill. She's still gonna be with the man, I'm
Right.
keeping it real. Why did God have it, PJ, and to your listening audience? Why did I go to Solomon's after the show, after I got off and I'm walking into the store? I didn't get no further than the shopping carts. And a young man touched me on the shoulder and he says, Empress, is that you? And I said, yeah.
Uh,
See there, PJ, I know you.
depends on who's
Have we
asking.
met?
Say,
I look in there, and I'm like,
say it again.
I know this boy, right? So he says, I'm the one that just called your show. And I said, oh.
Oh.
He said, I can take her out. Ain't nothing you could say. I can take her out.
Oh
And
wow.
I literally remember parking the cart and I said, young man and, young woman by myself, escorting this stranger of a man
Mm-hmm.
out into the parking lot. And I took him across the street in the empty part of the parking lot. And I said to him, let's talk. And I sat him down. I'll never forget this, on the curbside. And he raised his shirt, PJ, and there was the gun.
Wow.
Okay. And I decided that I wasn't going to show any fear because it wasn't me he was after.
Right. So it's like
I
cool.
just remember hugging him and breaking him until he started to cry. And when he released that and all the frustration and just allowing him to just be, it was the end of that whole train of thought about killing. He was more about being able to walk away and still hold his head up. And I can honestly say there's been several stories in my career that I can think of. Some of them stand out more than others, where I've been able to make that change.
Come on, Michael. Now. You gotta make a change. what I love the most that you do it so wholeheartedly is that people look at the title of media host or think of just a media personality, that you don't need to go above and beyond, or
Oh
people
no,
don't know
no,
what
no.
you look like, or people don't know who you is until you speak, or but it's the connection that that show has, the way people listen to it in their homes, the way that they invite themselves on the show, whether it be with well technology now, social media, commenting, or even sending in little text messages or calling into the show.
Oh, we didn't have that in the beginning.
We
It's
didn't have
straight
that
up,
at boy. We
straight
sure
up
didn't.
phone
But let me
number.
give you another joke on how I was trying to tell Empress, you need to make a Twitter. I said, Empress, the people want you on Twitter. The people want you on Facebook. Oh no. You see, insert phone company here. Give me this phone. And I don't even want this. I don't even want this. So
Talk all
now
the business.
so now a brief, maybe 4 or 5, 6 years later, my girl has 26,000 followers
Sure,
on Facebook.
sure.
How does it feel to have that type of power? And we jokingly say it, and we see it in so many different aspects of our life. How does it feel to have that type of power, influence, or connection? I would say, because the way you go about it is so much more different than from than other persons or other situations that you look at. How does it feel?
I honestly don't know how to answer that because that's what comes natural.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching my mother be the very I'm just a chip off of the old block. I remember when my mom used to work at the airline. I was a young child, 6 7 years 8 year old. She would be bringing strangers home, people who couldn't afford hotels, sick and the plane rejected them traveling, whatever the case is.
Oh, that's Darnelly.
Yeah, just like your old lady, right? Or the person get knocked down on the street. We ain't waiting for the ambulance. She's scooping them up herself and carrying them to the hospital.
Mhm.
That's all I know.
And that's when you come from good stock, and I love the fact, and I love the way you gracefully go about that, and the way you maneuver is with such grace. Because
Thank you.
I remember us making the statement of saying that you were powerful when we were at Guardian Radio. And I'll never forget when I think one of the other tabloid newspapers came out with all these headlines, all these different little things, and I feel as if they love to take a shot at the girl. And I remember saying she came right on into the studio, and I was like, "You good?" I was like, I said we could take them out. I said, "You want to go about this?" He's like, "Nothing." Well, I was like, "Right, guy
Ready,
producer." but I'm,
ready.
but I'm like, "Come on, man." I said, "What you want to do? What you feeling?" I remember us running the song. I think I played them franchise voice. Oh, I think they like me.
Yeah,
And I said, and I remember you feeling so hurt about it, or feeling as if that you can't speak about it. And I said, no, show them your power. I said they only write about it because you're powerful. And you kept saying,
exactly.
and
And
you
and
kept,
you know what, too, though, Peach?
hmm
When I examined that particular situation, it's funny that you would even mention that, simply because your girl has been so squeaky clean
hmm
that one would try to throw something on me. And the funniest thing about that, to me, that ain't even, I wouldn't be the first or the last woman to have possibly had a child for a celebrity.
yeah.
Okay, that's neither here nor there. But the fact that there's absolutely no truth to it is the funniest thing to me. It's hilarious.
And
As a matter of
people
fact,
loved run with it like as gospel. They're like, oh well, this and oh this and oh, I look at it these days as the WhatsApp news. When
it's
people say that
funny.
if it don't come from a WhatsApp screenshot, they don't have it as gospel anymore.
I want you to believe me and my family, my significant other, my children. It's funny. I laughing at the people. Y'all are funny. Y'all
Yeah,
keep me
no,
entertained.
there's such a key, and I think it takes knowing your real life to know that this is such a key. Like,
It's funny. And I realize it's because we're small.
yeah,
And with being small, sometimes comes small mindedness.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? But
yeah.
to me, that is not having dirt on me. That's come with something dirty, man. Not
And
even dirt.
if you mind people, they'll run with it. And I love the most that you don't focus on the negative of things. Great family who neither of them, any of them, they're all superstars to me. They don't focus on anything negative. You have my superstar Soleil, who's such a superstar, a fashionista, a businesswoman already.
How you know?
Oh, I know.
You
You know,
pick up from school and it's like, you ready to go? No, I gotta go to work.
no. Hey,
Yeah.
no, we have this project to do. I have this to do. I have that to do.
No, she's going to work as in juicing for life.
Oh,
I I gotta go to work. I don't have time to be playing on the blocks right now. I got to work.
I got a
That's her.
multi-million-dollar business to get going. What's happening? I love that you got DJ Amlak, my dog on the ones and twos. You
Oh
got
yeah,
hubby.
yeah.
Everyone's
They're
so supportive about it. Everyone's busy, but everyone's so supportive about it. And that's what I love the most. And
absolutely.
I guess with the transition of going through the media or being in media and the pros and cons that comes with, and the fact that you show such a strong face, I do want to talk about one of them. I guess one of the days that I think rocked me in my media professional life, was when you got the news about your mom and dad, and I remember that being the like I felt as if I stepped too loud in the hallway, it would have caused a thunderclap.
Yes.
And I remember you coming on air, and me being so surprised. I said, "Empress here?" I said, "Empress in the building?" You're like, "Yeah." And I was like, don't talk, or don't mention if she doesn't. And I'll never forget in the studio, fresh after that, after losing both parents, and
On the same day.
on the same day, then your
On your
birthday.
birthday. I know it's imagine it's just words can't describe.
Words can't describe, but what I do want you to try to describe for me, how are you able to be that strong, or how were you able to? I
I
guess,
tell you, it's easy. And
yeah,
when I say it's easy because again, we are a society of people who tend to always want to internalize. I'm back to that word, internalize.
mhm,
And I'm a woman about freeing my mind and allowing people to do the same. When you get something off of your chest, it's therapeutic.
yeah,
You understand? So if it is that I am encouraging people to do that, then I got to take a dose of my own medicine,
yeah,
which is to just free up. So my mom died in Jamaica on a Saturday. I flew back to Nassau on a Sunday, straight on to Freeport to ID my dad in
mhm,
Freeport, right? So, right away, naturally, you would get that compassionate leave. I came to work on Monday because why? The power of that microphone was all I needed at that time to be able to say exactly how I felt, to say exactly what it is and take you down that journey of those last moments of seeing my mom take her last breath.
mhm.
Um, I would be able to empower somebody else because I think the burden that I faced um, almost 3 years ago is unheard of, with the exception of, I would say, the Miles Monroe kids, where
Yeah.
their parents were together. My parents were in two different countries, dying on the same day. What's the probability of them dying on my
What
birthday?
was the
You,
probability?
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So being able to verbalize what I was feeling at the time was therapeutic for me. Some people would say, you would need to go and talk to a professional. The audience were my professional people.
Yeah.
And I want you to believe that that is what helped to get me through, listening to people, whether it be people giving condolences, whether it be people who reminded me how my parents, either one of them, changed their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whatever it was, every little tidbit was it helped to propel me to a place of some level of comfort.
Yes,
Mind you, it's still very difficult, but I think if I had just gone home and fold up, I wouldn't be singing today.
because what I remember the most from that day is that the amount of persons texting in, calling
Yes.
in, mind you, persons calling in don't know how to say, but they're just saying like, "We here for you," like, "We're here for you."
Yeah.
Like I remember a lady called in, no, a gentleman called in, and I left the studio and I was in the car headed home, and the show was still going on. And I remember a gentleman calling. He says, "Empress," and he goes on and tells a story about your dad. Goes on and tells a story how he knew your dad and all this good stuff. And he says, "I don't know how you could be so strong, but I
I don't
share
know.
my strength with you, sister."
I do want to say something here, though, in future reference to persons who reach out to people who have lost somebody. Please, for God's sake, stop telling people to be strong.
Yeah,
It is not the right thing to say. It annoyed me more than anything else. Why do I have to be strong? Why can't I be
yeah. Why
vulnerable?
can't I just be?
Why?
Why can't I be?
Why can't I just be? Don't tell people to be strong. Allow them to free themselves however necessary. Being strong is a camouflage. It's about covering up feelings to make others feel better. No, it ain't about them. It's about you. So don't tell people to be strong. Let them be.
A lot of people don't put themselves first, and I
No.
think that you did that in such a, I guess, and I say this as if it needed to be done, but a selfish way. To where you have to keep composing of yourself, or you have to keep some part of self to self, and make sure
Right.
that you're good with that.
Right.
Making sure that you're able to benefit and transition, and even in the sense of emotionally deal and internalize things.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
now, not just a media girl and something a bit more lighter, outside the field of media and everything, please tell people. We mentioned a few times already, but the girl wears many hats. My girl is a mom, momager, media
Jesus.
host extraordinaire. I'm talking singer, keyboardist, and also business owner. Tell us how Juicing for Life came about, and its oddly appropriate name, Juicing for Life.
I'll
Like
tell
you
you
have been
about
juicing
how
for
that
life.
came about too. As a matter of fact, I was at Jams at the time, and I remember saying, with all of this knowledge, and when I say knowledge, or all of the following at the time in particular, not knowledge, but the following and the fan base that I had built up, anybody with an ounce of sense would utilize that following in business. So I said to my colleagues, and I say to them even today, with all the fan base that you strive so hard to build, why not utilize your strength by creating a brand and not just a name?
Mm.
And that was the idea behind it. Now I got a lot of flack for it, and everybody who gave me flack, ha ha, those are
Ha!
you.
What's up?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Some of them are my best customers today, I must say. So thanks for your patronage. But there were the naysayers that, oh, that ain't gonna work. But funny enough, how it all began was after I had Soleil. A lot of people was like, "Well, how you lose so much weight so quick? How come why your skin is just so small? Your hair grow back so quick?" Whatever the case was, and my answer was simply in my lifestyle, the way I
Mhm.
ate, the way that I've been pun intended juicing for a long time,
I
right? But how the name came about, funny enough, that name came to me in a dream. Like I literally went to bed thinking, what am I going to call this place? And about 3 a.m. in the morning, I pitched up and it was just right there, juicing dot 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 for life. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even second guessing it, not questioning it. That is what God
that's
gave
it.
me, and that is what it
You
is.
know, we
So,
can't just have that telepathic type
woo!
of
Whoa, whoa,
foresight.
whoa.
Come on now, talk to me.
So I
But
just I'm so happy to see that Bahamians are gravitating towards healthier lifestyles. I'm glad to be a part of that movement, where in a country where so many ailments plague us,
mhm.
whether it be hypertension, diabetes, you name it, cancer.
Yeah.
It's all your medicine. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. And hence, a lot of people are, I don't want people to wait ultimately until the doctor says you have to. By then, it's just way too difficult.
It's way too
So,
late by that time.
whether you make slight changes, I just implore that everybody just tries their endeavor best to get in some fruits and vegetables in the diet. And when I say fruits and veggies, I don't mean coleslaw with plenty mayo. I'm not
You know,
talking about
I can't
solids.
eat my beets with my white rice and curry.
You can eat it, but at some point, get those fruits and veggies in its natural state. I like I
Yes.
said, a lot of people have this thing that I eat salad, but the salad full of dressing.
I got my
No,
ranch on it.
the coleslaw full of mayo. No, or a daiquiri full of sugar. That's
Like no,
strawberry
no, that's not the
looking.
type of not those strawberries. No, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
no. You can indulge in those now and again, but on a serious tip, especially during this pandemic,
Yeah.
it's all about the fittest of the fittest will survive. I tell you that. And in order to do that, you got to build up your immunity. There's no two ways about it. So I've been ahead of this pandemic Long time.
She been setting trends long time. And what I
Long
love the
time.
most, what you preached the most during the pandemic and the start of the pandemic was that y'all worried about taking vitamin C and wearing your mask and gloves. What's the point of protecting your exterior and your interior
Hello, somebody.
still isn't regulated, still isn't getting right. And you always coach them and we come doing pre-recorded shows. Um she would come with like smoothie. One had like pineapple and coconut inside of it. The other one she had me guessed, and I'm
Guess the flavor.
like I taste some pineapples.
You so funny.
But it's that type of spin on it, and I think it's a fresh take on reinventing a brand, introducing a brand to the Bahamas that they didn't even think that they thought that they needed. So it's like
They
now,
know
yeah,
those
yeah,
don't
no,
really
you
need
need
it.
it.
Hmm.
You're too like fried chicken and too much conch and all that.
But even if you do that, trust me, I got the detox for you. You know, you can
Hmm.
indulge, but you
Oh,
got to
see,
detox. Hello.
hey, say no more, say no more. Before I let you go, the Natural Empress, the legendary Renee Davis,
Thank you.
what is some advice from someone who would be looking forward to having such a, I guess, who would want such a long, filling career such as yours and
It's
still
easy.
growing and glowing?
It's
What's some
easy.
advice you can give to someone working towards that?
See, now I ain't gonna give you no long drawn out, long talk, pretty words. It's really, really simple. And you know what's funny? And I gotta give kudos to Randy C. I'll
Mm.
never forget it. Randy C said to me when I walked through the doors of Jams against all odds, of course, still in JJ's shoes at that time,
Hmm.
where, you know, she was a household name. Here comes this little girl from Grand Bahama. And you know, that time the Freeport Nassau thing was
Oh
real.
yeah, you know the beef was real heavy
Yeah, it was
then.
real. Um, Against all odds, Randy C said to me, "You are here to be you. Whoever you are and what you bring to the table, that's what you bring. You ain't nobody else." All right. And that is the main thing that one needs to consider. Whatever it is, whatever your strength is, and whoever you are, is what you bring forth, is what you bring to the table. Not trying to mimic um, anybody else in what they did. If you notice, when I got to jobs, I turned it up 10 notches.
There
All
was no
right.
more notch.
There was no more. I just bought out the whole Richter scale. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yep.
I brought something else, and that is what anybody that's trying to get in this game needs to understand. You got to do you.
Yeah.
Separate and apart from that, I was also strong about not ever trying to develop what they call quote unquote a radio voice
Oh.
on that. All right. You know, I love when I go somewhere and I was in the food store as recent as yesterday, and I said to the packing boy, "Don't forget to get me whatever it was." And the person behind me said, "I know that voice.
I know.
I,
Wait,
you
I know the
you
voice.
you is
Use,
Empress."
use Empress.
And the next line was, "Boy, you sound the same way you sound on the radio." And I love that because
Mhm.
I never, ever, ever, ever put on. I can't be nothing else but me. And that also is inclusive of the way I talk, right? That is very, very important. Don't put on. Be you. Be you. And everything else will fall into line. I promise you. And one more thing.
Please,
One
please,
more thing.
please.
In all that I've accomplished in my life before, prior to radio, um, which was big. Like I said, I've rubbed shoulders with some really big people, even outside of the reggae world.
My people, I
Um,
promise you, it's as simple as like she would call. She would say, "Oh yeah, you know that,"
oh,
and call on phone.
yeah, Steven Seagal, Wesley Snipes, Lauren Hill. Who I've Lord, there's so many
Woo!
of them, right?
For the ones I caught Cecile. You got
Oh, you're
Ding
talking
Dong.
reggae.
You,
Reggae,
like
reggae is regular for me, but you know that is true. That is true. And if you watch the growth of even Strictly the Best,
yeah.
every Friday night I'm bringing them to you, whether it be Damien Junior Gong Marley, a Shaggy,
Hmm.
whoever. Um, that has come with building relationships over the years. But one thing that's even more important is humility.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I am able to rub shoulders with the queen and then hang out in the bottoms. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to be relatable wherever you are.
Yeah.
And that also means that you must never feel that you're above anyone at all. Don't care what it is you got, what you've accomplished, who you know. I always remain true to self. And that's the best advice I could give.
Listen, we here at the Hot Tea with PeeJae Fuego, I promise you, all those nuggets I'm taking home, right, on my, putting them on my wall,
Right
standing them
there.
tight, and
You.
standing them like the Psalms prayer
Hello.
every morning. I promise you.
Legendary Renee Davis. I said
You
it for
got
you.
me. You got me. The Natural Empress, the legendary Renee Davis, philanthropist, business owner, mother, keyboardist, singer, media host, and so many other. Am I forgetting anything? Icon, living
Friends.
legend, always in the game. It's legendary Renee Davis, the Natural Empress,
Thank you.
everybody. How can we keep up with you? That's free your mind. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Star 106.5. That's Don't Do It with Rika C on Hot
Hot.
91.7 weekdays as well. The only host who you know got two different stations.
Now that again is another one under my belt. The only person in media who is on two different stations.
Who else you know? I'll wait.
Ryan Seacrest.
Try me again. Who else you know? They know Ryan Seacrest. Hit me again. Empress, I thank you so much today. Thank you so much for being such a mentor to me.
Hey,
Breath
I
of
ain't got no
fresh
tissue.
air.
I ain't got no tissue. Don't
Oh
do
no,
it.
I got it for us. A breath of fresh air, a mentor for me, a friend, a confidant. I appreciate you so much, and I thank you for making time for the Hot Tea with PeeJae Fuego.
Oh, come on, bro. Don't do that.
My people, once again, the Hot Tea with PeeJae Fuego. Make sure you guys are following us on all our social media platforms. You guys can follow me. That's PeeJaeFuego. A modern day Maya Angelou, dressing like Kanye West and speaking like Malcolm X, everybody. Keep it wait where you got it. That's the Hot Tea with PeeJae Fuego.